Hey y'all, Big Wooly here, and welcome back to episode 25 of our FTB Skies Expert Let's Play. In today's episode, we're going to work on some things we discussed last time. We're going to work on getting our energy transfer node made, some GPS data cards, fractioning stills, centrifugal separators, and we may even make a second fabrication matrix. But for starters, we're going to get into this energy transfer node so that we can get our machines unclumped from that god-awful monstrosity right back there. So without further ado, let's get into it. All right, so for that GPS doohickey, so let's start with those, the GPS data cards. These are going to be how we tell the transfer node where machines are. Just need some charcoal, which we made in our pyrolyzer. You can also make it in your coke oven, and some paper. Gives us a piece of carbon paper. That carbon paper, we just need blue dye and iron nuggets. Blue dye is simple enough when you have a megaton of lapis like we do. And then that's going to give us 4 of the GPS data cards. Easy enough. Now for this one, the only thing we haven't covered, we've made everything else here except for the overcharged diamond. We're going to need to make an infused diamond, and we're going to be thankful that we've had those goats giving us these dimensional shards the whole time, because otherwise we wouldn't have them. I think the only way to get these is from sifting in stone on the top tier mesh, which we don't get till we go to the moon, but thankfully those annoying little goats have given us a little bit of supply of dimensional shards. So as you can see there, we have 37 of them, which is great, more than what we need for right now. So the next thing we need to do is we've got to go charge this, just like we have our charged electrum and charged everything else. So we'll stick it on the charging station, and then we'll pop around to this side, turn on our generator, swap it from pressure to charging, and looks like we're going to need to make some more power. So let's turn on our power gen right here. Right there. And there we have it. Now we just wait on it to get enough power from our generator in here to charge this up. Okay, y'all. That took a little bit longer than I was hoping for because, well, first and foremost, apparently I had unhooked this relay from my power gen at some point and didn't realize it. And secondly, that says Advanced Energizer instead of Basic. Yep, that's right. I upgraded it while I was paused because it just wasn't going to get us where we needed to be fast enough. And it was stuff we had already made. Let's take a look just so you guys know what it took to do it. The Advanced Energizer. A couple of overcharged electrum and a couple of lightning rods with our Basic made the Advanced Energizer. That allows us to get more RF into the items we're energizing at once. And that sped it up significantly, and it worked a whole heck of a lot better once I hooked the power cable back up to get power over here to it. So, where do we go from here, Wooly? Well, that should be the last piece that we need for our energy transfer node. This block right here is going to be our best friend. It's going to help us eliminate this chaotic little cluster of stuff. And just to give you a demonstration of how it works, I know one machine that's just begging for some power. So that if you don't want to set the whole stack of GPS data cards to one location, separate one out, and then you shift right-click it, and you'll see where it says saved with some coordinates. That's saved the coordinates of our latex generator right there, or latex whatever, extractor, whatever it's called. I can't remember what it's called. And then you'll see we have all of these. This is full of power. If I stick it in here, now our fluid extractor is powered instead of non-powered, which is going to make it work faster than it was working before to generate us latex. As you see, it's got 10K Fe in it, and that's with no wires, no additional faces taken up. This is why that block right there, the energy transfer node, is probably one of my favorite power moving mechanisms in modded Minecraft. Cyclic is kind of known for things being just OP, and this is no exception to cyclic mods making things OP. You just feed this thing power, You give them a data card, and you get how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 machines that you can power off of each one of these energy transfer nodes. And that's anywhere. Like interdimensionally, I do believe. Like, yeah, it's just insane what they do. And as you'll notice, this is already moving faster through its break process and generating latex for us. It is a great thing. Now, let's go take a look. What else did I have on here? So we've got the centrifugal separator and the fractioning still. Well, y'all, I thought we had a real problem. I thought that I had torn down my water wheels too soon because I didn't have enough machine frames to get through these two right here. And I was like, well, let me just grab a diesel generator. Well, when I hooked a diesel generator up to this with just regular biodiesel from our tank from over there, no go. But remember that force-infused biodiesel we made last episode and it says it doubles the stress units? Well, it will turn all of these mechanical crafters for us just as is at a really fast rate, actually. So let's just see how much faster it actually is to make these machine frames with this setup. So we're going to go corners, heavy in the bottom, redstone on the top, pity in the middle, light engineering on each side, turn it on, redstone signal. Oh, dang! Oh, I must have got the pattern wrong. Oh, those are still plates in the corner, aren't they? Oh, it's compressed iron. Okay, I gave it the wrong thing. Please hold. Y'all let me know if you like these leaving the bloopers in where I use the wrong ingredients or mess stuff up. But let's watch it go super fast this time and actually make it. There we go. Machine frames. I don't even feel the need to pause while I'm doing this with you guys anymore because, good lord, that is way faster. And it's sipping on this force-infused biodiesel. Look at that. It hasn't even used just barely 50 millibuckets, and that includes me screwing it up. So we could probably make all sorts of stuff before we'll ever need another bucket of force-infused over here for our mechanical crafters. That is pretty awesome. So let's go ahead and just make up these two machines. Centrifugal separator, everything here we've done before. The gears, you just take your material, make them in your press. There we have it. Now, fractioning still. What are we missing for it? Couple of flux redstone coils. We got those. It needs a heavy engineering block. We're going to need to make some steel mechanical components. And this one we haven't made together, so let's cover it, and then I'll make the steel mechanical components while I pause real quick. This is super simple. We haven't had to make any of the immersive engineering wire yet, but we have made copper wire with our rolling mill for other things, and we have sticks. So if we take the copper wire that you make in your rolling mill and a stick, that's going to give us the 4 LV coil wire we need. And then we're going to be able to make the external heater from immersive engineering with everything else's stuff we've already made. Now the last piece we need is another heavy engineering block. Give me a second, I'll make that, and then we'll craft up our fractioning still. All right, made up those heavy engineering blocks. Good thing we get 4 of them. Oh, small fluid tank. Okay, well, we still have everything for that too. So there we have it, fractioning still. So that gets us a couple more things opened up here on the quest line. We're going to need to process some of this volatile redstone in the fractioning still, and it's going to give us buckets of redstone acid and destabilized redstone. So give me a moment to go over yonder and get this stuff set up, and we shall continue. All right, so we're back. I recorded that little intro for this episode yesterday, and I had to pause and then try to resume today, because as I mentioned before, I hadn't been feeling too good. So if this is abrupt and doesn't line up, I'm sorry, but if it works well, editing will just cut this little clip out and we'll go straight into the content. So next things next. What I want to get into today, if we come look at pinned stuff here, is as we mentioned, we're going to do the centrifugal separator and the fractioning still. I've prepared all the fluids and all for that. And then we're going to try to see how far we can get in the time that I have left for video today. So let's go see what all I got together in between that first clip and this one. Oh God, I'm on my broom. Oh wait, there we go. Not gonna lie, y'all. I flipped there because I thought I still had to record an intro. Yep. All right, I stuck some stuff in here while I was working on the next part. We're gonna grab that. Oh, I finally killed a wandering trader and got the no soliciting altar, which I'm not gonna put down because I like buying those precision mechanisms from him for cheap, and they despawn, so it's fine. So with the wireless power, that kind of allows us to put these machines that need power anywhere. They don't have to be here. It is, it's awesome. So let's head, I don't know why I'm running when I can just teleport there. Let's head down here to where all of the fluids and whatnot get made anyways. So in here, I've got redstone dust waiting on this stuff that I'm just not going to keep trying to say, as funny as it may be to listen to me try to say it. This stuff, yep. We're making some more volatile redstone for the processes because we're going to need a lot of these like circuit boards and stuff that require the two different kinds of redstone. So our fractioning still, right here, we can just place it down near this stuff since we know this is where the fluids are going to be getting made, and we may end up automating it down here. And we're going to take one of our GPS data cards, and we're going to go ahead and grab this location so that when we head back over to the main island, we can power this machine up. Now, it just needs power and this volatile redstone to work. So, it's got volatile redstone. Go here to where it says power, which power is probably going to be getting moved to a new location soon. So we'll rename that, or this, teleportation block something else. And now we should have power to that machine. There we have it. And the fractioning still, as you see, we're getting destabilized redstone and redstone acid. So I happen to have myself 2 empty tanks. We can go right here and right here. And then, like with all good thermal machines, they're super configurable. You're going to output on the right. You're also going to output over here. And we're going to tell it auto output. And on the next pulse, it should start pumping those out to our 2 containers. There you go. Redstone acid and destabilized redstone. Now, as you can see, this is going to take a minute to produce them. So we could put some thermal upgrades in here if we had made some. Or we can just time and a bottle it, which our power gen can't keep up with that much. But that's going to get us to where we need to be sooner. And look, we already have a bucket on that side. And we should have a bucket on this side in no time. And it finished processing. That's one thing about the temporal pouch that I do believe I mentioned when we crafted it. I went too far on the multiplier for what the power generation we have is capable of transferring, or not transferring, generating. So it does, when you use the temporal pouch or time in a bottle, if you're playing another mod that has one, it also increases the power draw to match the additional processing speed. So it was actually just sitting here trying to craft, like starting and stopping over and over and over, because it couldn't get enough power through for the speed that the pouch is making it want to draw. So it did finish generating after that wore off, and now we have a bucket each. Let's open up our backpack here and grab out some buckets for the quest book. So there's that one. And there's that one. And that's going to get us through here. Ooh, thank goodness. Silver. Some that I don't have to make. Yes. Okay. So the next thing it wants us to do is we're going to need these empty PCBs, which are logic circuits that we've made and used before. So I'm going to craft up a couple of those. And then to make our etching acid, we are going to try to do our stress unit's a little different. Rather than pipe the biodiesel around right now, I want to see how good the electric motor will do. I know the electric motor will spin one mixing basin with no problem, but it could be useful for us in places where we don't want to have to worry about moving the biodiesel around, which is going to be difficult until we get a good fluid transfer mechanism. I really like using intertanks for stuff like that, so we'll get to it soon enough. It's just not a today thing. So this will make it a temporary setup that we just pull this out and then we can just swap it for a diesel generator once we get to the point where we have access to intertanks later. So I bookmarked the ingredients for the electric motor here. It's not too bad. It only takes 12 mechanical crafters, which we already have. We're going to have to change the pattern. So this pattern's a little different than the one we've been doing. So I'm going to make sure I have all of the things for making this motor, and I will meet you guys back over on the main island, and we're going to make ourselves an electric motor. So not quite by the mechanical crafters yet. Figured I'd just cover it just for those of you that are curious. We were using the rolling mill to get all of our wire before, but now that we have our the multi-servo press, we can just make ourselves a wire mold and do all of our wire making there without having the need to set back up rotational stress units or whatever, and we can do it in our multi-servo press with power. And we just make it here at our engineer's table with the mold blueprint and some steel. Don't pull a woolly trying to make your wire. It takes plate, not ingots, for all the wire. You can figure that out. Go to your uses on your plate. It'll show you here. And it requires the plate form, not the ingot. I was putting ingots in there and wondering, why is it not making me my wire? All right, as I mentioned before, we had to reconfigure the mechanical crafters here. And I just shape it like what it shows you here. I had to move my button over one spot because I moved the base. And then we just like everything else, we just plop all these pieces in here and should be good to go. Don't forget to change your arrows to make sure everything's pointed in and down so that your thing crafts like it should, because otherwise it's not gonna. And then you'll be like, hey, why isn't this working? That woolly guy's a liar. Boop. Boop. Turn it on. Kaboom. Still haven't used 100 millibuckets. Nice. So motors are electric rotational force. You take your power, you turn it into stress units somewhere else. And with our wireless data cards, I feel like that's going to be a great thing. What was that noise? Oh! Well, hello. You became a gunsmith off of my immersive engineering table. Does that mean that you will sell me the blueprints for guns and stuff later? I mean, that could be cool. But I can't stand your voice. So into the box you go. All right. Now that we have our electric motor, let's move on with making this etching acid. I think since everything from this is going to need pressure, we're going to head back over here to what has become Create, Britannia, and Pneumaticraft Island, but we all know where it is. And then where do we have space? Let me grab a temporary block and let's move this out. Because we want to be able to see the back, because that is how we are going to be able to set our speed right here. It's used to be control or whatever, but I think now right click and hold it, and then you can drag your speed up and down. Let's grab a GPS so we can send it power. Head over here. Toss this up here. And now it should have power, and we will be able to turn it on. Oh, look, it's already rotating. So now let's turn this with the thing. Yep, that way it'll work, I think, for us. Actually, we kind of want it facing up. There we go. Now we can take our temp block out. We'll be able to see the bottom from underneath. We'll be able to get down here and look up and adjust it if we need to. Now, we need a basin, which I do not have on me. There's our basin, and in this bag with our Create gadgets and gizmos, we should have a mixer. There we go. So, bring it over with a... Yep, this should work. So, there's that, and then we will grab out a small cog. Put it here, and then we will put our mixer right there, and there we have it. And then if we need this to go faster for our recipes, we can crank it up. That is... okay, our power gen seems to be holding that. It's using 1.3K. Oh, it's going to drain that battery. Let's pull that down. We don't even have 1K FE a tick on our generation, so we'll pull it down some more. Hopefully that's enough rotations to get what we need to get done. In goes the redstone acid. And we need spider's eye, rotten flesh, and gunpowder. In you go, in you go. And with that, it should mix. Sweet. Etching acid. Awesome. Do we have another bucket of that? Nope, we don't. So we'll have to process some more of the volatile redstone, but for today's purposes, I do believe 1 bucket of etching acid is going to be enough to move us on down the line. We need to make the etching tank next. The etching tank has nothing that we've not made together, so let me make us one. So we crafted ourselves up the etching tank. I had to make up some of the stuff we were missing, but stuff we've already made, heavy engineering blocks, some steel components, you know, stuff like that, but it's nothing we haven't covered together on camera before. One cool thing is we get a bucket of etching acid for free, an extra one, just like, here you go, have at it. Good job. We're glad you did it. I love stuff like that because, you know, making it by hand. If you want to automate this, you can extract unassembled PCBs from the sides and failed PCBs from the top. Okay, so we have to run them through until they are successful to craft them up, and they can fail. Now, to get those PCBs, we need to take some of the logic chips that are logic circuits that we've made before, and the other byproduct of the volatile redstone, the destabilized redstone, we put it in our fluid encapsulator, and it's going to give us an empty PCB. So let's do it. It's up there. Fluid encapsulator. Destabilized redstone buckets. In you go. And then we put in our logic circuits. Here we have it. Doesn't do much by itself. No, it doesn't require pressure. It only requires heat. Cool. Never mind. Don't pay attention to Wooly. I am no expert. I just pretend on YouTube. So we just need heat. We could do... what can we do for heat? Well, you know, I'm going to be lazy and rather than do the right thing, and I'm just going to steal the blaze burner because it's my party. There we go. And then we just need to put in our etching acid. And then let's see what heat we need. Uses on the PCB. Oh, they've got to go into the UV light box. This was the one. We got to make a charging station to get a villager to make a job block for a trade. Yeah, here we go. Let's go do that. So we need to make a charging station here because we need to convert a villager into the new Metacraft villager. So let's grab ourselves a villager. You know, I just happen to keep people in my storage, you know, just stuff them in there until I need them. There we go. It tells you all of this in the quest line that you make this guy to get what you need. It's not like I'm just some genius that knew it. Because I am not. It says in here, and then there, right here, can be traded from an engineer charging station job. So it tells you what you need to do. Come over here, and there we have it. So now we've just got to get this guy right there, PCB blueprint, and we need Envar coins, which we have traded from our wandering traders. There we go. PCB blueprints. So we need that to make our UV light box. Everything else here is simple stuff to make. Let's see if we have all of it. Nope, just the redstone lamps. And we need some blocks of glowstone. That's fine. Redstone lamps. 1, 2, 3. That's cool. And there we go. Now we have our UV light box. Our UV light box is what we use to improve our chances of being successful. Now, do you require pressure? Yes, max pressure. Okay, so let's get you under pressure here. There we go. That should do. Whoop, trapdoor, putting you in the flyer. So now, there we go. UV light box. Can I put multiples in there? Nope, just one at a time. No problems. And as you can see, our etch chance is increasing, and it will go all the way up to 100% and spit it out, and we should be able to be 100% successful in etching our PCBs. Got a little impatient, used some time in a bag, temporal pouch, whatever it's called. Used some of that to skip some time because, yeah, it was not fun. All right, so what temperature do we need for etching? Did it say? It doesn't say. Interesting. Let's put them in and see what happens. Ding! Unassembled PCBs. That brings us here, which they give us some failed ones, which if you don't etch them, you can try. But if they fail, then you have to stick these things into a blast furnace or on your bulk blasting create setup, lava behind a fan. That'll turn them into the ones that we can then etch and try to bring through the process again. Now, for the finished PCB, we just need to add some capacitors and transistors, which we can make in the pressure chamber. All right, gonna craft up these transistors and resistors, or capacitors, transistors and capacitors. So we need 2 slime balls and 1 Duraplast sheet each for one of the 2. I don't remember which one. Toss that in here. Let it do its thing. We have plenty of pressure. I think this is for the transistor. Nope, it is the capacitor. So 1 bar of pressure just needs 2 nuggets, a slime, and a latex for each one. We put them in there. You'll see it do its thing here, and then it's going to spit them out into our output buffer, and then into our chest. There we have our capacitors. Let's make the transistors. They are 311. Yeah, 311. 311. Great band. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2. And 1, 2. And they require about the same amount of pressure, so we should have more than enough pressure left in the system. There we go. Yep, I was a gold nugget short. There we have it. So that is going to bring us to crafting our finished PCBs. We're going to need more of that stuff, but you guys now know how to do it. Now we have a finished PCB. It says, now the fun starts. So that is going to bring us right up to being able to make our NASA workbench, which you see is grayed out. We still are going to need to make a dissolution chamber here in the middle and make some other machine frames and whatnot to get on out to the moon. But I think that's pretty good progress for today's video. I hope this is something that you guys can use to help you in your series, or that you at least enjoy watching me fumble through and try to figure out my way through this expert mod pack. I hope you guys have a great day, and we'll see you in the next one.